The pillows are fluff thanks to Miss Emily. The couch is wide enough, join the family. It's all love while we laugh at Perp's criminalities. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup at hey, hey, hey. Come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh, please, the puppies need me. Oh, oh, please, my body is rejecting none of that fancy credential stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup and hey, hey, hey. Come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh please, the puppies need me. Oh please, my body is rejecting none of that fancy credentialed stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup that hey, hey, hey. Come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough.
Okay, y'all, so I have a new microphone on, so I'm kind of covering it because I feel like it's super loud. So can y'all hear, hey Sheena, can y'all hear the microphone? It's like for real, dropping number one, but also is it like booming loud? And Emily, thank you for the memberships that you gifted. Hey Jenny, I hope you're doing good. It's not loud, it's spotty. What about now? Is it ASMR? Oh, hold on, I can change that. It's really quiet. Oh, I'm glad. How is this? How is this right here? I just turned the sound way up on it. This is better. It's too quiet. Muffled quiet. What about now? I'm talking directly into it now. What about now? All right, is it better now that I turned it all the way up? Better? Okay. Good and a bit louder. Okay. I'll go back and listen to it as well. And I'm kind of talking a little bit quiet. I'll go back and right. I'll go back and listen to it as well with replay G. To kind of see how it does, whatever. Hold on. Let's see here. Because this is the new what do you call it? The new microphone that I'm using on the record, the pre-recorded channel. So yeah, I wanted, and I figured it out. And I was like, wait a minute, I could plug this in, and then sit here and, you know what I mean, be hands free and all that fun stuff. So we'll see how it goes. I know we do need to name this, but it's so cozy, right? Hey, Indy, how are you doing? So hello, everybody. Welcome to the Sofa Squad. It's just regular Stephanie. Stephanie, we're still just as excited that you were here. So y'all, regular Stephanie. So the other day we were talking, I kept seeing people talking about Stephanie Harlow. And I was like, is Stephanie Harlow on my chat room? Like that's crazy or whatever. And so somebody had seen Stephanie, you just see there's Stephanie Howe, and they were like thinking it's Stephanie Harlow. So that's why Stephanie said it's just regular Stephanie. We still love you're just as important as Stephanie Harlow. Oh, that's so funny. Oh my gosh, that is too good. I hope everybody's doing good. So obviously we are boys. We don't bite each other's face off. Go get it. So we were gonna do the Melanie gift thing, right? But then this hearing, this motion dropped, and I was like, oh please, absolutely reading this tonight. So I haven't read it. I literally just got in from running errands, and I was literally like, I can't even stop and get gas. I've got to get home. I've got to eat a leftover hamburger because I'm starving. Jake wants to say hello, everybody. So what we're gonna be doing? Hey John, how's it going? Jake says hello. Say hey everybody. Hey Lauren, how's it going? Um, so what we're doing today, and there's the boys. Everybody's in a playful mood. Um, so what we're going to be doing is we're just going to read through this motion today or whatever. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. Or Jenny, sorry. I was like, oh, thank you, Jennifer. I was very formal about that. I do appreciate you. That's what I just got my hair did. I told him, I said, look, we're on a budget. You need to cut this real short because it needs to last for at least 2 months. Hey, Mark, how's it going? Um, I know I'm loving the mushroom stuff too. So what we're gonna do is tomorrow evening, unless something other crazy happens or whatever, we'll revisit more of the mushroom testimony now that it's built up for a couple of days. And I'm basically just like recording video after video of like the updates and stuff like that. So they're gonna kind of be for the main channel. So they'll be a little bit like isolated, if that makes sense. Because I'll record one, and then by the time it gets done and put out, like 2 more days of coming, you know. So anyways, that's it. So I hope everybody's doing well. Here we go. So this was the state's response to Lori Daybell wanting a new trial. Remember, Lori's main thing, there are several things that they're going to address in here. Pardon me. But the main thing was like the whole juror thing, where that juror Carl was like, oh, I felt sorry for her on the way home, and blah, 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 blah. And so we knew that this was probably going to happen. Well, the quick glance over that I did, I was like, oh, Lauren's all up in this. So Lauren, Hidden True Crime, I think she put a video out on it like earlier today. That's where I was like, I saw her thumbnail. I was like, wait a minute, Lori has a thing out. So I was like, hold up. I was like, we're going to have to look at this later tonight. Okay. Oh, thank you, Jennifer Price, Jenny Price. I do appreciate it. So let me get my other thing up here. Let me find that other thing real quick. Hey, Audra, how's it going? Okay, where did it go? Here we go. Okay, so state of Arizona, obviously, versus Lori Daybell. State. Let me do this. I'm gonna make this bigger so I can see it. Okay, everyone get comfy. There you go. So the state of Arizona, through undersigned counsel, requests this court deny the defendant's motion for new trial, as there was no juror misconduct, no prosecutorial misconduct, no improper exclusion of hearsay testimony, and no lack of impartiality by the court. The state's response is supported by the attached memorandum of facts and authority. Heavens to Betsy. Okay, we're coming in hot. We're going to talk like this. Okay, so memorandum of facts and authority. Everyone gets situated. Facts, law, and argument. So this is the big one right here. I mean, hold up, these puppies. Everyone lay down. After the verdict, the jurors were released from the admonition and had to face a mob of journalists questioning them as they waited for the bus to take them to their vehicles. Juror number 15 was one of the jurors who was caught by the media. Juror 15 made multiple statements that were recorded by multiple agencies. Video on YouTube from Idaho News On Demand shows the first contact by the media with Juror 15 as he was exiting the South Court building. See Exhibit A, thumb drive containing YouTube video. In this video, there are multiple media agencies rushing up to Juror 15. It is clear from the fact that you see the media running up to the juror that this encounter with the media occurred before the video cited by the defense, which was conducted next to the street bus stop. In the initial media contact, one of the media asked Juror 15 and another juror, were any of you folks aware that this woman had already been convicted of 3 homicides? Juror 15 responds, no, I did not. Exhibit A, Idaho News at 1.13 minutes into the video to 123. Juror 15 and another juror are then asked, There's a lot of backstory here, and this woman has already been convicted of 3 homicides, and yet they obviously didn't want you folks to know that. And nobody knew that during your deliberation. Is that correct? Both Juror 15 and the other juror both say no. Exhibit A, Idaho News at 1:29 minutes into the video at 1:40. Juror 15 was very clear in this immediate contact with the media that he did not know about the defendant's prior criminal history prior to reaching a verdict. Okay. Please. Oh. Okay, hold on. I'm just coming to check, make sure. Okay, cool. Let me go back over here. Sorry. I always think that when I'm over here talking to all of y'all are over here like, Paul, your microphone turned off, and I'm just talking and not looking at the screen, so I decided to check out. Okay. Because y'all know, I mean, I do this on the regular, right? Okay. So a few days after the verdict, Juror 15 participated in an hour-long interview with Lauren Matthias. How do you say Lauren's name? Matthias for her podcast. I just call her Lauren from Hidden True Crime. See Exhibit A, Thumb Drive containing Hidden True Crime podcast by Lauren with Juror 15. In this interview, Juror 15 states that everyone was respectful of not telling him anything about the case while the trial was going, and that if anyone would have, I would have to put up a hand. Exhibit A to the set. During this hour-long interview, Juror 15 stated that after the verdict was read and they were released from the admonition, he started Googling Lori Vallow while in the jury room. During the interview from 15:30 minutes to 15:40, Juror 15 is asked and responds, Lauren, it's the day of the verdict. You learned, so is that when you quickly Googled on your phone and you saw before you walked out of the courthouse? Yeah. That there were other murders. Absolutely. So you learned right then. Juror 15. Uh-huh. During the interview, Juror 15 talks about not wanting to talk to the media when he left, but that all of a sudden he was surrounded by Sorry. Juror 15 was at hold on. What's your name? Oliver? No. No. We'd be nice. Bo, do you want to come over here? Are you misplaced? Okay. Juror 15 was asked directly by Lauren about whether or not he knew about the other murders prior to the verdict. Lauren, but to clarify, you don't know how you knew there might have been another sentencing. Everything's a blur. I do understand that sometimes. I forget that day. You know, it is when I'm in attending trial, reporting at a trial, but you did not know about any of the other murders until after the verdict. Right, yeah, I had no idea of anything else she had been through prior to this trial, and even during the trial, I didn't know that. During this hour-long interview, Juror 15 repeatedly stated he did not know about the defendant's prior murders or sentences before the verdict in this case. Juror 15 spoke with multiple media outlets who accosted him as he was attempting to get to the juror bus. The video is provided by the state in Exhibit A, listed as Idaho News on Demand, as the first contact by the media with Juror 15, where he clearly states twice that he did not know that the defendant had been convicted of 3 other murders prior to the verdict. The defendant is later interviewed for an hour on the Hidden True Crime podcast, where he advised that as soon as he was released from the admonition and while he was still inside the jury room, he was Googling the defendant. Okay, hold on a second. Play it up. Okay, so here's my thing. I'm gonna have to listen to this thing again. I'm gonna have to listen to the thing. Oh wait, hold on. I'm gonna have to listen to this thing again. To Lauren's podcast with him. Because here's okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I did, y'all. Sorry, I forgot to make it bigger. I need to go back and listen to all of this again. Because I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that she's not telling the motions wrong, obviously. But I'm like, I listened to the thing and I don't remember him going on and on with Lauren about how he didn't know about it. But I could have also like zoned out too. I mean, please, right? I remember one part in the interview, y'all tell me with Lauren, I mean, calling him, where she asked him, and he's like, oh yeah, I don't know where I heard that. You know what I'm saying, Lee? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I don't know. Anyways, but that could just be me. Yeah, Brenda. So okay, Brenda just said he really didn't say yes or no on Lauren's thing. That's how my memory of it. I walked away from y'all help me out here. I walked away from Lauren's show um with being like he never denied that he didn't know it. He talked around the question. He screwed it. So this part right here where they're saying that he adamantly was like, I didn't know this. I didn't know this. I mean, again, this is where I'm like, I need to go back and listen to the actual podcast. Because I'm like, I don't remember this. But again, that doesn't mean anything. I mean, y'all be over here talking 30 minutes with mic cut off, right? So I mean, please. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna trust the professionals here, okay? And please hold, let me do this. Wait, let me mute it because it's gonna be really loud here. So I'm gonna okay. So let's keep going. And let me try and make this bigger for you. Juror 15 advised Lauren that this is when he learned that she had prior convictions. When the juror was again asked if he didn't know the information until after the verdict, he again confirmed that he did not know anything before or during the trial. The juror was basically mobbed by media while just trying to get to the juror bus. During this time, Juror 15 made one sentence that seemed to imply that he had looked up information about the defendant's prior criminal history before reaching a verdict. Looking at all of Juror 15's interactions with the media, it's clear he has remained consistent that he did not violate the admonition. He waited until he was released from the admonition to immediately begin Googling the defendant, and that he and other jurors did not know about the defendant's prior convictions before reaching a verdict. Now, from the other people I've heard of, yeah, I don't think they knew either, but who's going to sit there and say that in the background? Like, who in their right mind, although nothing would surprise me these days, will be in the jury room talking about, pardon me, talking about, yo, I looked up last night. She's got 3 other things. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let me get over here. Okay, so B. Tylee Ryan and Alex Cox statements were appropriately precluded as hearsay statements, and Detective Daniel Coon's expert testimony was based upon the physical evidence. In this case, the state appropriately filed motions in Lamine to preclude the defendant from admitting any statements made by Alexander Cox or Tylee Ryan, as these statements are hearsay, and there is no exception that permits their admission. The court precluded the statements by Tylee Ryan made almost 3 hours after the shooting as hearsay. The court ultimately precluded any statements by Alexander Cox to police from both when the police first arrived 47 minutes after the shooting, as well as the statements he made it at the police station a couple of hours after the murder. So, wait. Okay, so the state also, sorry, I had to get my parents straight, objected to, and the court sustained as hearsay any testimony regarding Alexander Cox's walkthrough with police nearly 8 hours after the shooting. Detective Daniel Coons was noticed by the state as an expert witness to discuss the trajectory of the shots at the crime scene. During his testimony, the state asked Detective Daniel Coons if, based upon his training, experience, the location of the casings, projectiles, bullet strikes, and injuries to Charles Vallow, if he could determine an approximate location of where the shooter would have been. Oh, good God, that scared me. No. Ooh, Lord mercy. Sorry. We've got dogs all turned up over here. Okay, so detective, where are we at? If he could determine, okay, the defendant never established a foundation that any statements made by Alex Cox or Tylee Ryan hours after the shooting were admissible under any of the Arizona rules of evidence. The testimony of Alex Cox and Tylee Ryan were appropriately precluded as hearsay. During his testimony, Detective Daniel Coons gave his opinion as to the approximate location of the shooter based upon his training. experience, and the physical evidence to include the location of the casings, projectiles, bullet strikes, the location of the injuries to Charles Vallow, and the wound path trajectory through Charles Vallow. Detective Daniel Coons did not ever indicate that his opinion was based on the statements or walkthrough of the defendant's co-conspirator. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Hold on a second. I just coming back to check on the chat. Shannon says, "Did she bring up the bamboo shirt again?" We're working our way up to the bamboo shirt and the enchiladas. Okay, here we go. Let's keep going. Here we go. There is no discovery violation. On January 9th, 2024, the state disclosed the Cellbrite cell phone download for Charles Vallow's iPhone to the defendant. On January 13th, 2024, the state filed State's Notice of Disclosure and Request for Disclosure. This notice advised the defendant that the state would use any evidence arising out of Chandler Police Department report, and it does a number, any information relevant to the case obtained from Cellbrite downloads, and that all requests to examine or scientifically test items of evidence must be in writing. On March 12, 2025, defendant filed a supplemental rule 15.2. She brings that one up a lot. Notice of disclosure, where she noticed an expert, Lonnie Dworkin. Defendant never provided the state any notice regarding Dworkin's, I think I'm saying that right, Dworkin's testimony. On March 13th, 2025, the state was advised that Dworkin had not begun work. On March 16th, 2025, the state filed state's motion to preclude defense expert Lonnie Dworkin and preclude noticed witnesses. The state filed a separate statement in support of Rule 15.7 sanctions due to the late and incomplete notice of defense expert Lonnie Dworkin. On March 18, 2025, the defendant was asked by the court about Lonnie Dworkin. They say, I mean, how many times can we say the last name? The defendant was advised that she could request a continuance to allow time for her experiment to review the victim's cell phone. The court further advised the defendant that anything the expert discovered could potentially be precluded. The defendant advised she wanted to proceed with trial instead of seeking a continuance to allow her, please hold, speaking bigger, to allow her expert time to review the victim's cell phone. The defendant advised that she would like her expert to review Charles Vallow's actual cell phone. This was the first time the defendant requested access to this item of evidence. Now, and you can remember too, you think back to how many times the judge was like, yeah, this is why people don't rush things, right? You know, and I mean, I can see both sides where it's like you see these trials that like get dragged out for years and whatnot, you know, but it's also like this is 100% why people don't rush things, you know. But again, this was so different, so different. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay, so on March 18th, 2025, the state emailed a stipulation to the defendant's investigator regarding the release of Charles Vallow's cell phone to defense expert Lonnie Dworkin to allow the expert to extract the cell phone. Jury selection for trial began on March 31st, 2025. She's still trying to get the things out. She's still trying to get the subpoenas out for the last trial. She's already been convicted. Okay, let's keep going. People are just getting them now. They're like, well, honey, should we go on down to the trial and testify? I mean, you know, she's already been convicted, but I mean, you know. Okay, so the cell phone was returned to the Chandler Police Department on April 3rd, 2025. April 7th, 2025. While the state and defendant were presenting evidence and testimony in trial, The defendant emailed a motion to dismiss for failure to disclose exculpatory evidence and prosecutorial misconduct. The motion provided no facts to support that any exculpatory evidence existed, nor did it provide any facts to support prosecutorial misconduct. Attached to the motion was an affidavit from defense expert Lonnie Dworkin requesting the raw data from the gray, from the gray key of, among other items, Charles Vallow's cell phone. The defendant's expert did not advise that exculpatory evidence existed. It only provided that newer versions of Cellbrite might be able to locate additional data that was unable to be located in the 2019 and 2020 versions of Cellbrite. On April 10th, 2025, the state provided defendant with a thumb drive containing the gray key raw data for Charles Vallow's cell phone, iPad, and MacBook to give to their defense expert. Please help. And let me just check in with y'all, make sure my stuff's working. Right, yes, it is. Okay, let's keep going. So, the state has not received any reports, notes, affidavits, or information relating to Lonnie Dworkin's review of his extraction of Charles Vallow's cell phone or his analysis of the gray key raw data. The state has not received any information advising that any exculpatory evidence was withheld from the defendant. Instead, defendant's motion for new trial makes a conclusion without any support that the gray key raw data contained exculpatory evidence. Under Brady, the state must disclose all material exculpatory evidence, and it lists the stuff there. The evidence is material only if there is a reasonable probability that had the evidence been disclosed to the defense, the result of the proceedings would have been different. Now, again, pause there for a second. I mean, here's the thing, and we see this like with the Sarah Boone stuff, with this stuff. Lori was convinced, number one, that there's this other stuff out there, which, I mean, some of the stuff was just some of that YouTube thing and this and that and the other. It's wild to me how I keep seeing these cases come out where the person, Sarah, Lori, who else? I mean, just name anybody, right? Where they're convinced if you see the stuff, you're going to be like, oh, wait, Lori's the victim. Sarah's the victim, whatever the case is. Well, and even we know from this, when the jury was like, yeah, we went to the back. Remember Lori's closing arguments where she was talking about tapping that little CD like she did something. You can see it all right there. And the juror, that girl from the jury, she was like, yeah, that's one of the first things we did on that main day is we watched that. And it made her look really, really bad. You know, and like we all see that, right? Plain as day. But I mean, she doesn't, okay? Okay, here we go. The evidence is material. Okay, we did that. So in this case, the defendant did not provide the state in writing a request to examine the gray key raw data from the extraction of Charles Vallow's cell phone until April 7th, 2025. Upon this request, the state provide this data. Furthermore, the defendant has not provided any documentation to support the claim that the gray key raw data included any exculpatory information that was not part of the Cellbrite data that was disclosed to the defendant on January 9th, 2024. The defendant's motion does not support a Brady violation or any violation of disclosure by state. And hold on, we skipped one. The state has not received any report. Oh, wait, we already did that. Sorry. There was no prosecutorial misconduct. On April 8th, 2025, the state elicited from retired Captain Kent Keller a statement made by the defendant while she was standing across the street from her rental house. I mean, this whole thing right here. This is where the whole parking thing came from, right? It's just like, oh my God, how many times does she think that this is her gotcha moment? Okay. So, standing across the street from her rental house, approximately an hour after her brother shot and killed her husband. The statement made by the defendant was admissible under 801D2 as a statement by party opponent. Furthermore, the statement was relevant to show the defendant's demeanor during the investigation into the shooting of her husband. So April 21st, 2025, the court read the final jury instructions to the jury, and the jury was advised in their opening statements. The prosecutor and defendant talked to you about law and evidence. In a few minutes, the prosecutor and defendant will give their closing arguments and will talk about the law and the evidence. What they said or say is not evidence because it is not sworn testimony, but it may help you to understand the law and the evidence. During closing arguments on April 21st, 2025, the state made an argument to the jury about all three of the justification defenses: self-defense, defense of a third party, and crime prevention. The defendant has intentionally mischaracterized one sentence from the state's closing to claim prosecutorial misconduct. The state provided both facts and evidence to support why the defendant was not entitled to self-defense, defense of a third party, and crime prevention. During closing arguments on April 21st, 2025, the state made an argument to the jury based on Exhibit 210, 227, and Exhibit 222 that on July 9th, 2019, Alex Cox made, please hold, plans to have his brother Adam Cox stay with him the night of July 10th, 2019. Alex Cox plans changed later that night of July 9th, 2019, when the defendant requested her co-conspirator, Alex Cox, stay close to her the next couple of days. The state's exhibits showed that Alex Cox did not answer his brother Adam's calls or texts at 3:22 p.m. and 3:23 p.m. on July 10th, 2019. Although the state did interview the defendant's sister, she told the state and Detective Duncan that she spoke with Alex Cox the night of July 10th, 2019, and begged him to stay with the defendant. The state therefore was able to infer that since Alex did not respond to Adam hours before the defendant's sister spoke with him, that his plans to stay with the defendant were based upon his discussion with the defendant on July 9th, 2019. During closing argument, the state made argument to the jury regarding the defendant's demeanor from the time she arrived at the scene almost an hour after the shooting to the time that she handed over the cell phone to Detective Inklin. I can't read that from here. Around 3 p.m. on the day of the shooting. Witnesses described the defendant on July 11th, 2019 as chatty, nonchalant, and unaffected by her brother. That right there. Chatty, nonchalant, and unaffected. That is a good shirt right there. Chatty, nonchalant, and unaffected. Just described all three of these, or four of these dogs right here. Okay, she was all those things by her brother allegedly being struck with a baseball bat, her husband lying dead in her house, and her children no longer having a father. I mean, exactly. The defendant's demeanor with law enforcement on the day of the murder was in complete opposition to the defendant's demeanor during opening statements, where the defendant attempted to testify as to facts that were never brought in by the defendant during the trial and crying in front of the jury. Okay, hold on, let me swing over here for a second. Oh, thanks, Carly, for being a member for 5 months. I appreciate it. Yeah, wouldn't that be a good shirt, Jenny? Chatty, nonchalant, and unaffected. I just love it. Hold on, I'm going to mute this while I take a sip. I need to rehydrate to keep reading. Hold on. But I mean, the thing, and I mean, again, I get wanting to pick the thing apart, but that was, I mean, we all saw that, right? She's over there laughing. And it's just like, and then I forget who brought this up, one of the jurors, whatever. They're like, she wasn't even sitting here asking about, was her brother okay? And I hadn't even thought about that. I was like, you know what? They're right. Like, she just absolutely, because she knew. She already knew. She 100% knew. And then to sit there and blame. Look at how much she has blamed on Tylee. She blamed JJ on Tylee, And then she blamed Charles on Tylee. Like Tylee has been that some you can unpack so much from that. And I wonder if Lauren, in True Crime, or another one of the psychologist based behavior or whatever, if people have brought this up about how much she is blaming Tylee and throwing her under the bus for these actions. You know what I'm saying? It's just bizarre and sad. Repulsive, to be quite honest. Oliver, we're gonna be nice now. Oliver says, I'm not down with all these puppies now. Here, go get somewhere. Everyone is not nonchalant over here. And we're chatty, chalant, and affected over here, right? And he said, I'm gonna go back and keep reading. Okay, the prosecutor is permitted to argue all reasonable inferences from the evidence, but cannot make insinuations that are not supported by the evidence. Let me make this bigger. I haven't read out wearing my glasses. And then it gives the case law here. Prosecutors are given wide latitude in presenting closing argument to the jury. In determining whether an argument is misconduct, we consider two factors. One, whether the prosecutor's statements called to the jury's attention matters it should not have considered in reaching its decision. And two, the probability that the jurors were in fact influenced by the remarks. And then we jump down. In this case, the state did not argue or raise any matters that the jury should not have considered. Each of the inferences and arguments made by the state during its closing arguments were based upon the testimony of witnesses. Pardon me, I almost sneezed. Of witnesses and evidence admitted at the trial. E. The court remained impartial before, during, and after the trial. The state filed 3 separate motions to preclude the defendant's noticed. Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry. Let me start that over. The state filed 3 separate motions to preclude the defendant's noticed 15.2 witnesses. After each motion filed by the state, the court heard argument as to the late notice, lack of the witnesses being made available to the state, and their relevance to the trial. The court did not preclude most of the witnesses, even after multiple requests by the state. One witness the defendant noticed, Nate Eaton, is a reporter with no personal knowledge of the case. Mr. Eaton filed his own motion to be allowed to remain in the courtroom. Later, Mr. Eaton's attorney filed a motion with the court. The court heard argument by Mr. Eaton's lawyer and the defendant. Mr. Eaton's lawyer argued to remove Mr. Eaton from the defendant's list of witnesses and to allow him to remain in the courtroom during the trial. During this argument, the court asked the defendant why she needed Mr. Eaton, a reporter, for trial. The defendant indicated that Mr. Eaton might be used to impeach a witness who testified. The court advised the defendant that she could impeach a witness with Mr. Eaton's recordings. The court also advised the defendant that if she felt Mr. Eaton became a necessary witness, he would consider his preclusion even if Mr. Eaton was in the courtroom during their testimony. The defendant never requested to call Mr. Eaton to impeach any witness. I mean, we all could have seen that coming. Shocker, right? The state filed 2 motions seeking to remove Brandon Boudreaux from the defendant's witness list, as he is a listed victim and it lists the case number. During the trial, the parties interviewed Brandon Boudreaux. In this interview, Mr. Boudreaux advised he was not aware that Adam Cox was in town or that Charles and Adam were planning an intervention. The defendant was unable to provide any other basis for calling him as a witness. The court struck Brandon Boudreaux from the defendant's witness list without prejudice, again advising the defendant that should Mr. Boudreaux become relevant, the court will be open to hearing her argument. The defendant did not request that Brandon Boudreaux testify. April 10th, 2025, the defendant cross-examined Serena Sharp. The defendant asked the witness if several named people in the Bible were translated. The state objected to this as relevant. The court allowed the defendant to continue questioning the witness about this area. The defendant never asked Serena Sharp or any of the three other witnesses who were members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, who testified during this trial, if they thought it was a regular part of the Mormon religion for a current living person to be a translated being. Instead, the defendant merely asked one witness if there were people in the Bible who had been translated. It is well established, however, that a trial judge is presumed to be free of bias and prejudice. Lists the case law. And then it says to rebut this presumption in a criminal case, a party must prove by a preponderance of evidence that the judge is biased and prejudiced and must file a motion alleging specific grounds of impartiality. Grounds. What was that what Daryl Brooks always used to say? Grounds. What was his thing that he said? It was grounds something, right? I can't remember what it is. Grounds. I just remember he was saying grounds all the time. Yeah, Holly says subject matter jurisdiction. Okay. April 10th, 2025, the defendant cross-examined. Oh, wait, okay, here we go. Wait, where did we? Oh, I'm sorry, I read that. Okay. Here, the defendant has admitted that the court overruled the state's objection, but argues that one comment by the judge during a 2-week trial somehow rises to the level of establishing by a preponderance of the evidence that the judge was, make it bigger, biased or prejudiced. Defendant has not shown by any level that she was denied a fair trial before an impartial jury. Conclusion. The defendant's motion for new trial should be denied since the evidence supports that Juror 15 did not know about the defendant's prior felony convictions before reaching a verdict. The court properly excluded the hearsay testimony of Alex Cox and Tally Ryan, the state's expert witness. Daniel Coons relied upon the physical evidence at the scene and the autopsy of Charles Vallow to reach his conclusion as to the trajectory and general location of the shooter. There has been no discovery violation by the state. There's been no prosecutorial misconduct by the state, and there's no evidence that the court was biased or prejudiced against the defendant. Shoop, shooty doop doop, doop doop. How about that? Okay, okay, okay. I mean, there you go. There you go. So, I mean, to me, the only real mega thing she had in there was the potential for Juror 15. And so here's the thing. I'm very curious to see if the judge is going to bring the juror back in. But if they can sit here, and I'm going to have, so what I'm going to do tonight, not right now, but later on, I'm going to re-listen to that, what do you call it, her, to Lauren's podcast, because I want to actively listen to it again and just see if all that stuff is there, because I don't know. So, Dominique says this is just what they all do. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would love to see what Lori says, right? I would love to see how a little mini trial and be like, look, we're coming for all of you. We're going to come get Lori. We're going to come get Melanie. Excuse me. Hey, RJB, how's it going? Amy says if she has access to Jesus, she would already know that motion would be denied, right? Doesn't she learn? Hey, Chrissy, it's good seeing you. Doesn't she know that the portal, doesn't she get all this information in the portal? Oh, I know. Can you imagine if we could see Lori reading it? Jenny said, I wish we could live stream Lori reading this. I mean, honestly, right? That would be really good. I know. And Ashley said, "Ever since I want the judge to tell her how horrid a person she is." I mean, honestly, um, I'm so wanting that too. Oh, thanks, Brenda. I appreciate it. I love making the voices. Um, oh, I'm happy to hear that. GMJ. Sorry, I appreciate that. Hey, Deb. But yeah, I mean, I just think that I think they're going to go through it. If they can hear this juror saying those things like, "Oh no, I didn't do this. I didn't do that," or whatever. I mean, that's what they're going to go with, right? It is what it is. She would find something else. I mean, she's clearly grabbing at straws. But again, I mean, she's, I mean, maybe she had help with that other stuff. That doesn't sound like a Lori motion to me. Excuse me. So, I don't know. As the world turns, but I mean, the next trial's on its way, and I think the next trial's going to go just as quick. I think it's going to go just as quick, right? Yeah, I'll be curious to see. Pardon me. Yeah, I don't know how long it takes a judge to decide. I mean, I would think it has to be pretty quickly, right? Um, I think. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, should be. Amy says should be as 144K returns. And Bandit's mom says I was disappointed she wasn't sacked at all. We were really looking forward to that, weren't we? Well, remember that video where that cop did that, and it was like just a tiny little blip on it, and like that dude was like dropping to the ground. Oh, the cop did the reporter, and he was like, "Bleh." Man, there's no way. Like, do you ever watch the videos of like, and I'm probably gonna say this wrong, but whether it be, and I don't know if people in the army or military do this, but like definitely cops, you see them where like they'll have to get tasered or uh, what do you call the mace or the items that you have to use and whatnot, where you have to get it done to yourself and whatnot. Man, there's no way. There's no way. The anticipatory was he also too. I think of it now being my age with like my own things. I'm like, I think I'd have a heart attack if that happened to me, right? You know what I'm saying? But like, if I was younger, I still wouldn't want to do it from the anticipatory anxiety aspect of it. But there's no way. Yeah, I know. Looking at battery is about as far as I'll go. Looking at battery as far like that whole thing, yeah. So seeing them go through that, I can't fathom like that shock belt thing. If they cranked it all the way up, your police wife says, and plus all the other cops laugh at you. I mean, there's no telling what I would do too. Because like they are funny to watch. I mean, God bless them for going through it. But like where they'll like do crazy stuff. But the ones that get me is because this is what I'm always worried about when they accidentally like get the person holding them too, and I'm like, that's what I'd be afraid of. I'd be afraid to hold the person because I'm like, what did they miss? That's gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt. People get tased and don't recover. I would think, to me, looking at them, I'm like, that would put me out for a few days. You see, I wonder what pepper spray would be like too. Not that I want to find out, but like, have you seen the one? And maybe this is the military or cops. I don't know, where they'll go in the thing and like they tear gas them or something. You know what I'm talking about? Like to do that part, or maybe it's correctional officers. I don't know, but that kind of stuff. Oh, wait, hey Karen. Karen says, "Paul, what did you think about Hendrik on Lauren video with Jess about Brandon before the new trial?" I haven't seen that one yet. I'll have to go look at it. Is it like brand new? Oh, Lionheart says you got electrocuted on a fence. Ooh, I know that hurt. Ooh. Oh man, Bandit's mom got shot across the room by a live wire. See, I literally think I would end up like doing that to myself too. 100%. I mean, let's all be honest. We could totally see me doing that, right? Taking myself out multiple times. So we'll have to see. So I don't know when they're going to respond, but I mean, it's May 8th. And what was it? They start doing jury selection like the last week of May. I mean, again, you never, this could get pushed off, this could, whatever, but I don't think it's going to, right? And I believe the trial starts beginning of June. So we're just going to kind of have to like hang out and see and wait, see what happens, right? But Emily says 220 volts up my arm, punch press, not grounded. Oh my God. Ooh, let me tell you what. That frightens me. The idea of getting so you're talking about like electrocuted. I'm talking about straight up like electrocuted. Um. Oh, Danny, thank you for being a member for 9 months, and I'm sorry that happened. Did both, but yeah, I can't. Yeah, I just can't imagine. Anyway, Marianne says he dropped an order for her to submit updated witnesses list by the 14th. So you know she's going to have a little bit of drama over that. You know she's going to have a little bit of drama over that, right? So, period, end of story. And hey, isn't it? It's the same judge, right? It's the same judge for this, or is it? Is it different? I think by this time, same. Okay, that's right. Yeah, thank y'all. I feel like this time, number one, I mean, look at all the convictions she's got, and I'm not trying to say I 100% think they should do this, but I think the judge, I would imagine his patience is going to be that much more like, because now the difference with this segment coming up is now we see how Lori operates representing herself. You know what I'm saying? Before we were like, what's this? We haven't heard from this woman, right? Like, what's she gonna do? Like, how's she gonna be? Well, now we see, and it's like, okay, it's not as turned up as I thought it was gonna be, but it's not as mild as it could be either, right? I mean, her little drama, this, that, and the other. So the thing that will also be different with this, I mean, obviously a different case, is like I'm curious who she wants. Well, number one, can she get her act together to call these people, right? Is Melanie the niece going to be up there? I'm fully expecting her to be. Like, I don't know why she wouldn't, right? I mean, this was like, I mean, hello, I still don't know how she didn't catch charges. So I'm dying to know if she's going to be up there. But then, other than that, at this point, in my mind, she's either going to completely play dumb and be like, what are you talking about? Or blame it on Alex, or at this point in this track record, blame it on Tylee somehow. If she finds a way to throw Tylee's name in this, well, we already know the Jeep. Yo, what if she? I She might try and throw. I'm very curious to see if she brings Tylee's name up in this way. She has for everything so far. Hold on one second. I need to take a drink. But I definitely think. Okay, so remember. So let's talk about this real quick before we go. Okay, so remember how there's a video. They're going to the storage unit. They're taking the tire off of the Jeep, right? Isn't it Tylee's Jeep? Or Tylee's, like, she was driving this Jeep. So it was like, when I say it's Tylee's Jeep at the time. So they're taking the Jeep to the storage unit, and then they're taking that back tire off and doing whatever in the back seat. And then you see them coming back and getting it, and like I'm sure the timestamps, the dates, and all this kind of stuff, will align with all that or whatever. So my personal opinion is that it was definitely, so to me at minimum, it's Alex and Chad in the Jeep. Okay. Do I think Melanie Pulowski and Melanie Boudreau and Pulowski was in the Jeep? I don't think so, but I definitely think she was like, this is where he lives. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I mean, so, but I don't know if she would have been in the car unless she was like, well, yeah, here he is. Like, I don't know. I think that she was going to have the men do the dirty work part of it. So I think if I was Lori, I would 100% be blaming Alex. Like, she's not going to blame Chad because that's her man, right? That's her, her poor old prince. So she's not going to throw him under the bus. So at minimum, well, first of all, if I was Lori, see now I'm trying to think what I would say if I was Lori. If I was Lori, I would completely play dumb. I'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? Do you have video of me in the Jeep? You know what I'm saying? Like literally be like, you got video of that? Do you have video? Did you see? She's gonna, this is what she's gonna say. She's like, did you see with your own eyes or hear with your own ears me driving the Jeep on da 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 date and so and so? Thank you. No more questions. That's 100% she said because literally. Now I'm curious to see the evidence they bring forth of the conversations of Brandon's gone dark. Get it? Like I want to see if they can. I'm more curious to see what evidence comes out about Melanie Pulowski in this. You see what I'm saying? Because what if they have some stuff, and then why wouldn't she be charged? Of how they got the address. What was Melanie saying this? The biggest thing about this trial that for me is getting tea on Melanie Pulowski. And thank you, Danny, for gifting 5 memberships. I appreciate that. So I really, really want to see that part. And there might not be anything, I don't know. But to me, there's that because like I'm just like, okay, how are they wrapping Lori into this? We already know she probably said some torn up stuff, right? Yeah, Brandon's wife, his former wife. Yeah. Melanie Boudreau at the time. Pardon me. So, but then when they go back to the thing and drop the stuff off, I mean, Lori, I mean, again, in my opinion, Lori 100% knew what was going on with Brandon. She was helping facilitate it. It's just so they have the evidence to show it. I personally have zero doubts in my mind that she was helping with that. I mean, that's why she was like helping prepare the truck and all this kind of stuff. Or the Jeep, I'm sorry. Um, yeah, what are the charges, y'all? Is it conspiracy for attempted murder? Is that what she's facing? Yeah, cats or dog, that's a good question. I wonder if Melanie regrets divorcing Brandon and abandoning her kids. I don't know. I mean, you have to wonder that. Like, I mean, because I wonder the same thing too, with I mean, so and again, this is just my non-professional opinion here. I think that it had stuff kept going, unchecked, unfiltered, that Melanie and Brandon Boudreau's children would be in a very much danger if even around anymore, if things had just gone unnoticed, right? I think they were going to be next. So I think a lot of people were going to be next in this. 100%. Do I know that for a fact? No. Was I there? No. Um, but the way it was all gone, yeah, I mean, we obviously know they were after Brandon. They were after money. They knew Brandon represented money. Now, whether they had stuff in the kids, whatever, the kids were going to get in their way. Because here's the thing: imagine this process. They get rid of Brandon. The kids come to Melanie. What do you think was going to happen with that when the kids got in the way? Now, I still am just. We're going to finish maybe tomorrow. Well, we're going to finish before it starts because I enjoy rewatching it too. The Melanie and Brandon, I'm sorry, Melanie and Ian Pulowski interview, because I still am just sitting here like, how, like, it's one thing to get into a new relationship and be like, oh, some drama just popped off with this person into it. This is insanity. Like, this is insanity. I'm talking about like first like few months you're dating somebody, you got mass murders going on, you're wearing an FBI wiretap, and then you're doing interviews. What? There's so much more to their story. So much more. That's a good theory, Eastman. Eastman says, I've always believed that Lori didn't want to be the only one who killed her kids. She wanted Melanie to as well. And you know what? Lori strikes me as that type of person where she was like, if I'm going to be in trouble like this, I want everyone to be in trouble like this. You know what I'm saying? Well, you saw April on 2020 talking about Lori. Who is she? So RJB, April was, I don't know how you say it, a a former friend, I guess you would say, of Lori's, and she lived in Hawaii. She knew her down there. What's her name? Lori went to April in the beginning of this to try and get her basically like sucked into the whole 144,000 thing. And April heard her stuff and was like, no, okay, you absolutely not. You need to go. Right. And so to me, it was like, and yeah, and I agree. Katie Cat says April's another target. She was careful. 100% agree. April to me was a good example of here's somebody who is in this, you know, when I say this religion, I'm not talking about the stuff Chad and Lori did, but she's LDS, whatever, right? She didn't go believe all this stuff. She was like, hello, this is no, are you crazy, Lord? Like, what? Immediate no for her, right? So it was, to me, I was like, okay, this is the voice of reason, right? This is what you say when someone like Lori shows up at your doorstep and tells you this BS, you know. So she knew, like, no, that's my understanding at least, you know. And so then, and I'm holding her in comparison to like Melanie Gibb, Zulema, Melanie Pulowski, this whole crowd, you know, that's just like, okay, you know, yeah, Katie Cat says she recognized the code immediately, literally. So, yeah, she saw that from a mile away. Ooh, Amy says Corey Richard's children were heavily insured. Ooh, ooh, that's another one. Yeah, April to me is pretty interesting to listen to because it's like so for me at least, like my perception is like when we listen to this case, and again the people I just named off, like you know the really just abstract out there, you know, Julie Rose, Chad, Lori, you know, Melanie Gibbs, Lemma, Alex, like that whole Melanie Plowski, Ian at this point, you know. So when you hear like an April come into the scenario, who if you look at April's interviews next to Melanie Gibb, night and day. Okay. Night and day. And I mean, it is what it is. I know Shannon says I'm dying to know what Melanie Gibb and Selma really know. Oh, me too. 100% me too. Hey, Heavenly. Pardon me. Hey, Mace. I hope you're doing well. Your dilemma was dilemma. I know. But I tell you what, when this is over, So we got now. Y'all remind me, is Chad Daybell's done, right? There's no more trials for him because with this trial coming up with Lori, now obviously I know we have appeals and stuff like that, but this is it, right? It's like shit done. Yeah, Zulema said I can't with Zulema. I can't with Zulema. At this point, like it's like I'm gonna put it this way, like on an entertainment level, okay, take out like almost pretend like these are TV shows we're not watching and not people's like real life stuff, right? So from that point of view, like the Sarah Bone interrogation, I will probably for the rest of my time here on Earth, that will be in my repertoire, being like, you know what, I'm gonna go put that on the TV. I haven't watched Sarah Boone interrogation in a minute, right? Like that's just there, okay? So in this case here, those interviews that we're kind of like rewatching and stuff are of that nature, but they also really tick me off. Not that the Sarah Boone doesn't, but in a different way. And I think because of the absolute grotesqueness of this case and all obviously it involved kids and this and that. And so it's like I like to refreshing in my memory for these things here or whatever. Like once this case is like done, I don't know if I would be like, oh, I want to put the Melanie Gibb interview on, right? Because it just kind of like, you know, makes me not happy. Whereas the Sarah Boone one, there's like a level of like, what is this? Like it's almost like one of those things where you're like, have you ever heard of the Sarah Boone trial? Sit down. We're gonna watch this. You know what I'm saying? But the Melanie Gibb and those little ones, it's just like insanity that you're watching. Like absolute insanity. Oh, the Jody and 100%. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, the dogs are looking at me. They're like, "What's going on?" Yeah, Jenny, I keep calling you Jennifer. Sorry, Jenny says suitcase was hilarious. Lori was scary to me. Exactly. Like the Sarah Boone one, like borderline was like when you're watching it, like if you didn't know what you were watching, you would probably think like if you just walked into somebody's house, you didn't follow true crime, and the Sarah Boone interrogation was on TV, you would literally think it was like a mockumentary, like a fake thing, right? Like you would be like, "There's no way this is real." Like absolutely no way. Now you would probably think the same thing about Melanie Given them, but you could tell like this is you would know something's up. Like there's an evilness to it. Sarah Boone's just so utterly absurd. Pam brings up a good one. How I forgot about that. How about Melanie, Con, Lori, and Chad, mom and dad? It was sickening that Lori told them they could have lived off of Melanie's money. I hope she has turned again. I hope she is turning it. I hope she has too. So here's my thing with Melanie that like ticked me off, amongst other things, whatever. Yes, I'm glad she testified, all that stuff, 100% right. But I always felt like she was jealous of Tyler. Like whatever the mommy daddy to Chad and Lori thing was going on, I felt like Melanie was jealous of Tylee. Because like when she would talk about her, and I get we're all human, Tylee was not her daughter, Tylee was not her family. So, Solon teenagers are Solon teenagers. Okay. Like I can understand that. But there was like this level of and to me it just came off as like a person who is jealous and just I don't like them because of this. I got that vibe from Melanie to Tylee, right? And then when the whole thing came out about her being like, "Mommy, Daddy" to Lori and Chad, I was like, she's like, "I've been their daughter numerous times." So she was probably like, "If I was their daughter, I wouldn't speak to them that way, Tylee. And wait a minute, I am their daughter, just not in this life." It's super weird. Super weird. Oh yeah, Amy says I think Ty saw through all that BS and had a mouth on her. 100%. Okay, so you know how Ruby Frankie's daughter Sherry, who wrote the book, was like was like saw all the BS around her and was like, hello, why are we letting Ruby come up in here? Why are we doing all this? Like, these people are crazy. Or I'm sorry, Jody. I think Tylee saw that BS too in a lot of stuff. Especially like Melanie, she saw through Melanie Gibb. Okay. I mean, please. She was probably like, what? No. Tylee probably looked down at Melanie Gibb. I mean, let's be honest, okay? And I mean, and that was the thing, like, and I mean, even you heard Kay on the stand talking about, yeah, Tylee and, her brother could go back. I mean, we've all been there, or you have them yourself, where teenagers, right? It just is what it is. They just have a certain vibe. So I don't hold that part again. I don't hold that part against, how do you say it? I don't hold that against Tylee. You know what I mean? But Melanie Gibb is like the adult, and it's also like, girl, this is even your like kid. You know what I mean? It's like your friend's kid. Like, it's just, at minimum, it's like it's your friend's kid. You know what I mean? So it's like, why are you so invested in like this narrative against? Because you would see it on Melanie's face where her nose would scrunch up talking about her. Like, it was a physical reaction she had talking about her, and just like this, like, what you're talking about, how she would talk to Lori and whatnot. I'm like, can you imagine I mean, we obviously know the outcome, but leading up to that, the BS that this kids went through with Lori, and then bring the likes of people like Melanie and Slim around talking about Earth, Wind, Fire, people are zombies, all this. I mean, no. She was probably exhausted. She was like, what now? What are we doing today? Melanie's coming. Can you imagine what Melanie would be like? How awkward she'd be like, hey, Tylee. Hey. So, constantly trying to minister to her. She did. In that, like, really cheesy way. Like, Tylee, I see you're over there looking at that. Did I ever tell you I, too, once used to be 13? When I did, I mean, I can hear it now. Where, especially when you're a kid that just wants to be kind of like doing your thing, it's not Melanie Gibb plays. No, absolutely not. Bless our hearts. I mean, I can't even imagine. Like, even like take the murderous aspect around. Imagine your kid. It's Friday night, maybe one friend over, and your mom and dad. Not saying Charles did, but I'm just like, kind of recreate this. Has the likes of like Zulema and Melanie Gibb over mixed in with your uncle Alex, who you're probably more used to. At that point, so that's a little bit different. But like, what would you even say to that? Yeah, and Amy says it was clear that Tyler loved children, and yeah, 100%. Yeah, and that's Amy says Lori dumped poor Tyler, and Alex says, I mean, and that was the thing too. I mean, that's when things started like just dismantling and like just, I mean, they were just, I mean, Lori just disappeared, like you said. Yeah, I don't know, Shannon. I would think Melanie would have to be in hiding. This is my take, and y'all tell me if you know T from some other channel. So I personally think if Melanie has not been kicked out of the church, first of all, do we know if she's been kicked out of the church? How? I mean, I don't know how it works, but I feel like she had to have been, right? I don't know. Hey, Tux, how's it going? I don't know if you were here, but I hope I didn't miss saying hey to you. So hello, I hope you're doing well. Um, hey, Down Under, how's it going? sorry, I'm just catching up on all these names now that I've missed. Sorry, everybody. Um, if Melanie did not get kicked out of the church over this stuff, I think that she is, and I forget where it was in the interview or one of them, but like, you know how she was like, I need to help people learn that not to fall victim to this. Almost like she took ownership of it, but in a narcissistic way. You know what I mean? Where it was like at church, you know that she's like, hi, you probably recognize my name's Melanie, but I didn't have to tell you that, did I? If you ever want to know how not to fall victim to a cult or any other blasphemy, give me a call. You know what I mean? Like, you know that she has like made it her personality. 100%. 100% made it her personality. Yet curiously, it says it's her equivalent of a near-death experience. She's going to work in a near-death experience somewhere. She's letting it simmer. She's been working on the book. She's letting it simmer. She's taking the temperature, and she's going to drop that. She's going to drop it. She's like, visions of glory, ain't seen nothing yet. Like, I've got this one's. I mean, come on now. I mean, come on now. Excuse me. Yeah, Britta says she's got visions of Lori. That actually would be good for her. Oh, Melanie Gibb is still in the church. Christina. So okay, so yeah, I was talking about Melanie Gibb. So Melanie Gibb is confirmed to still be in the church. I mean, if you know or whatever. So I just feel like she would probably make it her. But to me, do you know, Christina? Do you know like what's the vibe? Like, what are we doing with here? Oh yeah, sorry, I'm passing my yawns on. I know I'm tired too. Night night, Bandit. Hey Sally. Oh God, excuse me. Yeah, we're gonna be knocking off here in a minute. Um, well, Kimberly says they had not been since Chad's trial. Explained it's a very private thing. Lori and Chad would have to seek forgiveness, which in turn would be excommunicated as part of the punishment process. Interesting. Very interesting. Bye, Kelly. Hold on, Christina says she was my Sunday school teacher during this time. She has moved around, so I don't know what she's up to now, but she is well known in the area. Oh, wow. Was she nice, Christina, or was she mean? She was your Sunday school teacher. Yeah, well, like what was your vibe like? I mean, did she like I envision her being kind of like mean towards kids, or like I don't know, like kind of like the way that she seemed to be towards Tylee is the way I see her like acting that way. You know what I mean? And did she seem off or anything? Like, did she make this whole situation I mean, maybe it'd be a little different with Sunday school thing, but like, did she make it like her personality at the church? Or were you not like privy to that? Yeah, we're kind of like winding down here, or whatever. So what we're gonna do is tomorrow evening at some point. My person was my mom's bestie, and also murder of her twin sister's husband. Oh my God, are you serious? Oh, culinary crime is a good point. We'll talk about the book club book here in a second. Okay, Christina says she is not. She was nice, but was off the church is her life. Okay, yeah, and is a capital. Yeah, that I can 100% see that. Oh, Boom Shakalaka says, "Oh yeah, Ruby Frankie's daughter got that pass. That's amazing. She did. Pardon me, she did that. So let's do some homework stuff. Hey, Mac, how's it going? Let's do. I keep calling it homework. Let's just say housekeeping stuff real quick. So tomorrow night, the live chat will be catching up on the mushroom trial stuff and going over like some of the whatever, like last couple of days of testimony and whatnot. Again, just reviewing the articles and whatnot and doing all that kind of stuff. And then maybe Sunday night we'll finish the Melanie Gibb interview and whatnot because we're going to be getting closer into obviously what do you call it? Closer to trial. Sorry, I'm fading. I started listening to the book club book. We are listening to If I Can't Have You About Susan Powell. I mean, when I say started, I got to the prologue and maybe chapter 1. Here's the thing though, because I was listening to it on Audible driving, and pardon me, like I don't know how to explain this, but like if you're driving and like traffic's crazy or you're thinking about this, and then like for me, I was like, oh wait a minute, I've not taken in anything from this first couple of chapters, so I'm gonna need to restart it. Hey Christina, no worries. Enjoy shopping. Thanks for sharing the information that you did. And yeah, absolutely. If you ever want to just pop on in. We appreciate all the information. It's interesting. So, so the bits I was like, basically what I'm saying is I'm going to start it over again because I was like, no, I missed this whole first section. Like I knew like the whole, like, okay, Susan's gone, but then this kid's over here, then he's saying this. And oh, well, maybe when I came home, Susan was doing this. And I'm like, the book 100% comes in hot where you're just like, whoa, okay, we're in it. Right? Like we're in the situation immediately. So from a storytelling perspective, I like that dynamic because it like grabs me, right? But I'm gonna have to restart it because I was too involved with traffic and then this and then this, and I'm going to this appointment. And so I didn't retain it is the better thing. Jenny says I was invested. Ooh, Dune sounds good too. You did bounce around a little bit. I'm just gonna restart it. So, but yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, so what's today? Thursday. So tomorrow night we'll wrap up testimony for a mushroom. Sunday evening, unless something massive happens or whatever, right? We'll try and finish up the Melanie Gibb thing and then prep for next week of like whatever's going on. It sounds like they're saying the mushroom trial might end early, which don't they always, right? Not mushroom trials, but in general. So we'll see. Anyways, so I'm gonna get ready to go to bed, y'all. I'm exhausted. I didn't have my little afternoon snack or any of that. Hello, Northwest. Thank you all, the moderators / friends, for being here and helping the cushions stay fluffed and doing all that you do. I do appreciate it. I do love you. And thank you, Sofa Squad, for hanging out. This is another fun session. Thank you for reading through that with me. I don't think her trial is going to get, or her conviction is going to get overturned. I don't think they're going to give her a new trial. I think that, and I'm talking about Lori now, I think it's just going to be exactly what we read. I think the judge will probably do a few questions if he does anything, and then they'll be done, and we'll be off to Brandon, and then we'll be on our way to, saying bye-bye, Lori, and she'll just do whatever she can to grab headlines. So that is it. I will see y'all tomorrow evening. I'll post this stuff tomorrow at some point. And we'll close out with Slow's wonderful little upbeat song to palate cleanse all the darkness that we talk about here. But that's it. I love you, Sofa Squad. I will see you tomorrow.
The pillows are fluff thanks to Miss Emily. The couch is wide enough. Join the family. It's all love while we laugh at Perp's criminalities. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup at hey, hey, hey. come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh please, the puppies need me. Ooh, oh please, my body is rejecting none of that fancy credential stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sip it from the cup and hey, 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 come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh please, the puppies need me. Oh please, my body is rejecting none of that fancy credentialed stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sip it from the cup that hey, 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 come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough.